Patreon.com/the Walk Off Podcast. $4 a month gets you in there.
If you're watching this right now and you haven't hit the like button, Billy, get on it. Bug your brother. Tell him to do the same.
What does this Toronto Blue Jays team need to do to win the division? I think it's easy to forget at the start of the season how important winning the division is, getting that bye, not needing to deal with a wild card 3-game series. Yes, the 3-game series is better than the 1 game that they used to have back in 2021 and earlier. However, oh man, as Jays fans, we watched that 3-game series against Seattle, and what I would have given for that to have been a 5-game series. Like, could have they come back? Maybe not after that brutal blowing of the 8-1 lead, but the more opportunity you can give yourself to come out of a series, the better it is. And I think that winning the division should be and is one of the priorities of this team. So let's start with health.
Yeah,
Buddy, probably the most paramount of things here is this team staying healthy. The Toronto Blue Jays have been a very young team over the last few years. We've watched the development of Vladdy. We've watched the development of Bo. We've seen Alek Manoah come in at 23 years old and become the ace of this rotation. The youth has done its part, and they have all logged a lot of innings. Alek Manoah did not miss a start last year. Vladdy played 160 games. Bo 159. Where this is going to be important is for the aging veterans on this team, the Brandon Belts, the George Springers, the Kevin Kiermaiers of the world. Can they put together 120 to 140 healthy games in this season? And I think that's going to play a lot into where this team winds up finishing when it comes to the division.
Yeah, for sure.
Now,
like you said, there are the obvious names. Anyone in the starting rotation, bad tacos is going to be devastating.
bad news. Exactly.
But yeah, the
Now,
definite real boon to have a healthy George Springer all year, a healthy Kiermaier all year, a healthy.
and I mean, when it
Belt
comes to health
DH.
too, it works the other way too, right? Because the Yankees need health, and the Yankees not being healthy is something that would definitely help the Blue Jays, and vice versa, right? The other thing I think is really important for this team is they need their core to nail it. They need big seasons out of Vladdy. They need a big season out of Bo, out of George, out of Alek. They need these performers that they're paying big money to, or that they rely on, like Big Puma.
Hey,
They need these guys to perform.
we have Monday morning mailbag on a Tuesday afternoon. I would love September Bo on an April afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I cannot agree more. I think we are going to see a big season out of Bo again. Health is everything here, but they need the guys that are their guys to be just that, to step up and have big seasons. And then the next thing that I think is going to be really important is they're going to need a bit of a bounce back from Yusei Kikuchi and from Jose Barrios. I don't even think they need day and night, right? Like, they need these guys who are putting up 5.5 ERAs to be around a 4.2. If we can knock a run and a bit off of their ERAs, that is going to go so far to this team winning the division. It is going to make every difference in the world. I also think they're going to need to play the Yankees tight.
Okay.
Now,
Balanced
yes,
schedule.
the schedule.
How many games is it this year?
So the schedule is more balanced, and that's a really good point. However, they are still playing their division rivals 14 times,
14.
Which is a buttload.
It was 19 in the
The
past?
scientific term. It was 19 in the past, yes.
Yeah. So you want to go 7-7? You want to go 8-6? What's your 6-8? How tight you wanting to play these Yankees?
They absolutely need to at least split the season series, in my opinion. I think you got to go 7-7. You absolutely have to.
Yeah. I think 6-8 is fine.
Mhm.
I sure don't want to see us go 4-10 against the Yankees. It
No. Yes.
can't be
That's
that
how you
kind
lose
of.
the division. That is exactly how you lose the division, is going 4-10 against the Yankees.
Um. So those are all great points you brought up, Scott. Um. I agree. I want to add one to the list. Good April.
Love it. Strong start. Something this team does not do very often.
Strong start. The kind of start the Yankees had last year where injuries pop up and you're not panicking.
Mhm.
Where all the cliches about, when you're the lead dog, the view never changes. I messed that one up already. I need coffee. Anyways, just like, I mean, you play fantasy sports. I play fantasy sports. The difference between starting the team or starting the year 2-2 or 1-3 versus starting the year 4-0, your leverage for trades and waiver wire, you know, things like it's a big deal to start the season where you're like, oh yeah, I can just like let this beautiful team I've assembled have a hiccup or two and not have to be like, oh, I got to dismantle. I better trade this guy. Like you don't have to worry about overreacting so much. You don't have to worry about if you get Yusei Kikuchi is struggling. You're like, well, he could struggle. We're 21-3. If he has a
The
bad
New
outing
York
today, who
Yankees
cares?
the New York Yankees are a prime example of that, buddy. If you look at what they did last year, I mean, they were on pace to break the major league record for wins in the first half of the season, and they really face planted a couple of times in that
Hmm.
final half of the season, right? They had that stretch after the All-Star break where all of a sudden Toronto went from, what was it, something like 12 games back to 6, right? And Yankee, which is still great. I mean, 6 games
Hmm.
is still a ton of breathing room. Can you imagine if they were only 6 or 7 games back and went through that, and now they're like, the Jays are 1 game out, and that's, not the
Or
breathing room you want to give yourself.
Or if you're 6 games back and then lose like that, now you're out of it,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, no,
No,
a
that's a
good
really good
April,
point,
a
dude.
good
A
May.
good
Uh,
April.
that's what I really want to see from these Jays if the goal is win the AL East. And I think it should be. I think
And I think
95
it
to
should be
100
too.
wins this year is
Should get it done. Would love to hear from you. Feel free to drop your comments below. If there is something that we have left off this list, what do you feel this Toronto Blue Jays organization needs to do to win the AL East? I think that this team, and I might be being overconfident here, I think this is a playoff team almost no matter what happens, no matter what bad tacos come our way, no matter how this all plays out. I think that they are going to squeak into at least a wild card spot, but that is
yep,
not the way I want to see this season play out.
absolutely.